Well, hello everybody. I want to do another live, third live today. This is tagged from my friend Jonathan Bahai, and I also put in Better Dwelling, a group of millennial economists and other. They do an excellent job for this new generation of getting many truths out economically about Canada. I get a very good kick out of them. As I'm old fella now, middle-aged, coming beyond. And why I get a kick out of them is Jonathan shares a post, and this isn't an attack or whatever. It is a really good write-up, and he put it on Twitter. He says, "Hey Dave, what do you think?" And I'm being honest here because this is the truth of Canada that a lot of people don't understand. Now, United States, everybody, is developed, is 91% private property. This isn't new either. This is hundreds of years of truth, in fact, leading up to that as they completed statehood. Since the 50s, largely what you see of America, late 50s I should say, finishing with Y, but largely what you see of America is 91% available to Americans. That has kept land values really low. And it doesn't matter when you look at New York, the state of New York, and all Donald J. Trump's real estate dealings, New York, Florida, pound for pound overvaluation, nowhere in the neighborhood of even Alberta. And here is a problem that the author of that, I'll say, piece, article that they put on Twitter and their take on Alberta, Ontario is abundantly wrong. And here's the problem, folks. Ontario is largely the old Lower Canada development with a whopping population and such overvalued property because the limited private property of this big giant province known as Ontario, and Quebec even bigger than that. Very tiny amount is private property. The whopping amount of crown land is what is kept from everybody, and that is the driving force of a massive amount of overvaluation of Ontario. Meaning if Trump took Canada the 51st state, it's Ontario's prices that crash the most. Ontario and Quebec. You will watch property values epically decline in a super overvaluation. Not Alberta. Alberta will go down, but nowhere near the extent of Ontario and Quebec. I can promise every Canadian that. That's very easy to overlap if you put the American mind on it, the American constitutional truth on it. You see it's Ontario and Quebec who largely go down at extreme rate. Meaning the truth of Donald J. Trump, the developer, sees the prize as being Ontario and Quebec. Not so for Saskatchewan or Alberta, because Saskatchewan has the most private property in all of Canada. Second place goes to Alberta, meaning, yes, it's still overvaluated. Yes, Saskatchewan, Alberta's prices will drop too for a developer that's attractive, but not as nearly attractive as Ontario and Quebec, because those are monstrous provinces with monstrously amounts more crown land not available. Alberta and Saskatchewan's 38% private property, 38% is already made available to Saskatchewanians. Alberta is at 32%. So think, we're talking about 33% nearly, right? Two-thirds that can come down. But Ontario, 95%. Think about that. Quebec, 96%. You want to see a massive overvaluation of what's available to Quebecois, what's available to Ontarians? You want to see a developer named Donald J. Trump who sees value in that, the article is wrong. And why? Because, no, I'm not attacking anyone, because Canadians can't see past their nose. Look at Crown land, look at private property available by region, and you realize the tremendous valuation transformation in Ontario and Quebec. And for an American like Donald J. Trump, the developer, the sweet spot is really and truly Ontario and Quebec in that respect. These are things that Canadians are incapable of seeing. If you want to see a backup of what I'm talking about, look no further than Better Dwelling. They're in this post. These millennials are so incredibly gifted and smart. I'm very proud of this generation of economists and generation of looking at land and over-evaluation. These youngsters, well, they're youngsters to me. They're not youngsters. They're fully functional adults in their 30s. To me, they're youngsters because my son is a millennial. But they see it for what it is, and they're very, very smart young set of Canadians. I'm very proud to see and share their posts on things like this, which I guess I should do more of. But this is what I recommend, Jonathan, to look at, and then you'll see the misstep of the author, and you'll see it for what it is. You go, yeah, that's correct. And USA, like I said, everybody, has been living in a reality of 91% land availability in the United States, statewide, since at very latest the 1960s. Like, you got to look at 62, 63. So Canada, USA, not even comparable. And Canadians are the ones who need to take that step forward and to see that for what it is, and really truly understand this land availability and land overvaluation of Canada. And then you'll see it for what it is. And then if you put yourself in the driver's seat of a person like Donald J. Trump in some of these denser states with huge land availability, you'll understand a lot better, and you'll understand him a tremendously lot better, and you'll be able to get it right. But as of today, these people aren't getting it right. That's my video. Share my take on it as it really is. I know.